This one simple sales trick makes me an extra $2,000 each week selling digital products online. And literally to show you guys, this was a payment from last week that came in from using this exact method. And this was $2,000 client that came in from doing this. And if you're not doing this in your sales process, you are missing out on clients, you're missing out on actually helping them change their lives, and you're also missing out on thousands of dollars of profit each month, if not each week. And what I'm going to do in this video is break down the situation that I actually showed from last week where I did gain $2,000 and gained a new client. And I'm going to break down exactly what I did and why you need to be doing it on all your sales calls if it comes down to it. And this is talked about in the sales industry, but I just feel like it's not stressed enough in the coaching or digital product industry when you're selling a service online. So what I'm going to do is tell you the story of this client that I closed last week and kind of how I used this strategy and what it looked like. So I got on the call with this client, and towards the end, once I pitched, I did discovery well, and then I pitched, and he seemed like he was fully in. The one problem was financial. So obviously I isolated that objection first. I was like, finances aside, if this was, $100 or if this was $50, would you be down to do this? Are you 100% confident in me, the program, and you are 100% confident in yourself that this is the best fit for you? And he was like, yes, this is strictly finances. And even when they say that, I always second guess just because they're trying to get off the call or something like that. So literally dove into his finances. He had his house payment that was coming up next week, and he had a few other payments coming up, and I run a reselling offer, and he also had a bunch of shoes that he was sitting on that he couldn't sell. So he literally was saying how he was going to get paid next Wednesday. The call was on Friday at the time, and he was going to get paid Wednesday, and then he would be able to put at least half of the $2,000 payment, right? And most people, what they would do here is if all it came down to is that, and there was really nothing else they could do, they would book in a follow-up call for Wednesday. They would get off the call and let the potential client go about their day. One key step here that you need to be doing if a client cannot pay until a few days from now, a week from now, even 2 weeks from the time that you're on the call, is you need to take a deposit. So after we go through payment plan options, after I try financing options and nothing works, what I offer is a deposit to get them into the program now, and then in 2 weeks, in a week, in a couple days where they have the rest of the money, they can put the rest. What this does is even if they put down a payment of $50, it locks them into where they actually paid something and they are obligated to use the program. They're obligated to get on the follow-up call and make the next payment. If I would have let this client go and been like, okay, yeah, we can get on another call on Wednesday, he could have gotten off that call and his wife say something to him, something come up. He could have second guessed it. He could have decided to pursue something else. But since I ended up taking just $100 deposit from this guy, he paid me the rest of the money on that Wednesday when he got paid. And I guarantee you, if I didn't take that deposit, he wouldn't have paid the rest of the money and he wouldn't have went forward with the program. It was simply just a mental thing that he had to overcome, which was putting some sort of money down in order to pay the rest when he had the rest of the money. And there are really two outcomes when you do this. One thing, let me make this clear. You don't want this to be your first resort. You want to isolate every single objection. You want to run through every financing option, Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay. You want to run through every single payment plan option if you were breaking it up into 2 months or 3 months or even 4 months. And your last resort, if you can't get that, is to collect a deposit. And when you collect a deposit, it could be $100, it could be $500. I've done anywhere in the range. 100 was actually the lowest I took, and I took that last week with this client and ended up making $2,000 from it. But when you ask for a deposit and you get a deposit put down, you're going to get one of two things. One, the client is going to ghost and they're not going to end up paying the rest of it in a week, in 2 weeks or whatever. Or number two, they're going to end up paying the rest of it. They're going to end up loving the program and they're going to change their lives and it's going to be great. Now, the cool thing about this is they're both wins, because even if the client pays the deposit and they ghost, like let's say that the client that I got last week paid the deposit and ghosted when Wednesday came and didn't pay the rest. at least for the 45 minutes of time that I was on that sales call, I'm getting $100 out of it. If I didn't take a deposit and then he didn't end up pursuing it on Wednesday and paying in full, I would get nothing out of that call. But because I made him at least put down $100, even if he ghosted after that, I get $100 and I get paid for my time. So even if you take 4 deposits throughout the month and none of them end up going forward with it, you probably made an extra $1,000. And if only one of them goes forward with it and it's a $2,000 thing, then you make an extra $2,000 or even more than that if more of them go through. Most of the time when they put down the deposit, they're gonna follow through with the program. And the deposit, like I said, could be anywhere from $100 to $500, even more. So when you're putting down a deposit, it's a win-win. You're either just gonna collect a down payment and get paid for your time that you spent on the call, or you're gonna collect the down payment and then in a week or in 2 weeks, they're gonna pay the rest. You're gonna be like, oh shit, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have made the full amount that the client paid me. And they're gonna go into your program or your creator's program or whatever, and they're gonna change their lives. They're gonna do whatever they wanna do. And this is something that some people will tell you to shy away from. Don't reach for money or something like this. But in my opinion, this is not a reach because one, if you're on a phone with a client and you're pushing that hard for them to get in, they obviously need the program. They need your mentorship and they need to change their life and take that step. So by having them put up some sort of money, you are having them take that step. That is a start in that step farther than they've probably ever taken in their lives. So in my opinion, this is not grabbing for money. It is simply putting the client to take that step forward and have a chance at going through your mentorship, your program, or your creator's mentorship and changing their lives. And even if it is about the money, I fully believe that if you're taking a 45-minute call with someone, even if you don't end up closing them into the program, you should get paid for your time. So what this does is allows you to get paid upfront for your time. So this has worked for me, and it's not just last week. I could put up a couple different payments and just clients who have actually gotten like great results inside of my offer, which is inside my reselling coaching program, that have done deposits and ended up paying the rest. I'll put it up. I'll edit it into the video. But this is something that I think should be talked about more in the sales process. And if you guys are new into this space, if you're in this space already and you're either running your own coaching program, running your own service business, or you're working with an influencer or creator who's running their own service business, or selling their own digital product, you need to incorporate this because you are missing out on thousands of dollars of cash and you are missing out on clients that you can change their lives by just simply pushing them over the edge to take that step, even if it's uncomfortable, and even if they can't afford the full thing until a week or 2 weeks down the line. So that's really what I wanted to go over today. Nothing where I have, a diagram or anything on my laptop, but just simply giving you guys some sales sauce that has worked really well for me in selling my digital product and allowing you guys to take it and put it into your business. Or if you're just starting, make sure you're bringing this to the table when you're working with an influencer or you're running your own coaching business. If you guys took any value from this, or if this is something new that you learned, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave any comments with questions. I'm also going to link my free Discord in the description. Literally, I just made this recently so I can interact with you guys because over the DMs, I get a lot of people trying to edit my videos and stuff like that, and it honestly gets unorganized. So just made a free Discord so you guys could join up, interact with each other, interact with me. Nothing's paid. I'm not doing anything like that. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, please. Hopefully you guys took something from this, and I will see you in the next one.